I want to know what you're thinking. There are some things you can't hide. I want to know what you're feeling. Tell me what's on your mind.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Front Row Negative, the podcast. It is I, Aaron, along with my artistically flavored co-host, Chris.
What's up? Or as some of you have no idea who I am today, only Aaron knows. Not even my wife knows who I am today. But according to the screen, Aaron, tell me, what is my name today?
Well, because I'm able to pronounce it properly the first time around when you put it up there. It is Poop Shoot Peter Panini.
Because I was telling you earlier, I literally, as you log on to StreamYard, it's just you put your name in. I was like, yeah, Aaron knows I'm Chris Foreman, but Aaron does not know I'm going to be Poop Shoot Peter Panini tonight.
It's a good nickname, and I'm glad that you were able to pronounce it like the fifth time you tried to pronounce it when you were explaining it earlier.
I typed it out. As you can read it, I've typed it out correctly.
Yeah.
But actually, I can't say that for sure because I'm not sure if poop shoot is 2 words or 1 word.
It could, maybe there's a hyphen in there somewhere. I don't know. It could
maybe.
It could
maybe.
Be. No, well, with my screen name, this is what I had when I did the cameo for 3 Beers.
Oh, okay.
And I never changed it. So mine just says Undisputed Aaron as a play off of the Undisputed Era. Well, formerly Undisputed Era. They're no longer together. They broke up on NXT.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Bobby Fish's mustache. So,
dude, God have mercy.
So how are you doing, sir?
I am doing great, man. And by great, I mean I'm exhausted and under the gun, behind schedule, and constantly trying to play catch up. But I'm doing great. How about you, man?
That sounds like my life as well. I survived another work week. I didn't have to make a last minute video for my bosses, and I'm not going to say where I actually work, not because the privilege is there. I just want to give them the promotion for that. They don't pay me for promotion.
You can say where you work, man. He works for Brazers.
I don't want to give them any kind of hindsight. So
I said you work for Brazers.
Brazzers?
I don't know how to pronounce it.
Brazers or Brazzers? Panini? Panani?
Punani? That's a whole different name. Poop Shoot Peter Punani. I should have put Punani.
Imagine that being your last name and, you have like somebody after you. Come back here, Punani.
Come.
Get over here, Punani.
Yeah, I'm going to get you, Punani.
Put the cookie down, Punani.
You listen here, Punani. You went down 7 blocks. You destroyed 4 buildings, 15 cars. I'm going to need your gun and your bass, Punani. Come on, that's great.
Oh, that's going to be great. That's going to be great.
Jesus.
Yes, no, I'm just not going to mention her name, more so just for the fact that I don't want to give them any kind of promotion because they're not paying for the promotion yet. That's why I'll just keep it private.
Sponsorships for everything, yeah. Screw it.
Yeah, pretty much.
You got to pay for this privilege.
That's right. You got to pay to be on this show, or you got to pay to sponsor, or pay for advertising.
You want the rub from Poop Shoot Peter Panini? You're going to have to pay up, pal.
And that's quite a rub.
Yeah, it is.
That would be quite a rub.
Oh my god.
So again, survived another week. About to enjoy this illustrious weekend somewhat. Full of chores and hopefully for me, sleep and rest. I need it.
Oh man, I think you're asking for too much, dude.
Yeah, I've got kids. I always ask for too much.
That's right.
So let's just jump right into it. So first segment up. What have you been watching, playing, reading, or listening to?
I've mostly been listening to podcasts, the same old.
Okay.
I need to expand my horizons. Although, you know what? There is a podcast I listen to when it does come on. And one time they were hitting pretty regularly every week. Now it's she only does interviews with people.
Okay.
But it's called The Hidden Gem. You ever heard about it?
Have not. Is that gym as in a stone or gym as in like working out?
Oh, jinn as in the genies, like as in
Oh,
of
okay.
Arabic folklore. I guess folklore, depending on who you ask. But
Oh, so sort of like Rob Williams and Will Smith.
yeah, but much scarier. Well, I mean, not much scarier than
Or Jafar.
Janir, Jafar, wherever you are. But no, Hidden Jinn is literally it's she's a Pakistani woman, and I apologize, I'm blanking on her name, but she literally, her episodes talk about different kinds of jinn according to Muslim and Pakistani lore or belief system, and I apologize for calling it lore. I don't know if I'm slandering it anyway. If I am, I apologize. She talks about the belief in jinn by those who believe in it. Okay. And I find it very interesting. Two things about the jinn that mothers in Muslim families, apparently, according to the podcast, talk to their kids about. The daughters, especially, don't get your hair wet and leave it wet.
Ever like don't get your hair wet ever, or just
no, like wash it, but don't leave it wet. Like dry it immediately.
Oh, okay.
Because apparently, jinn are drawn to wet hair. And they also
that person would really hit Roman Reigns.
Right. Yeah, no doubt. And then also, don't go out at night, like past 7 o'clock, because jinn apparently are very active in going out for wet hair women after 7. I mean, let's be fair. Who's not going out for wet hair women after 7, right?
Pretty much. That's how Las Vegas was founded.
So from listening to it, it's very interesting. I think this is just a personal, what I think's going on, because I have no skin in the game in regards to jinn and the belief system therein. But without going into too much detail, I feel like it's kind of a control system, much like like telling your kids, like Cajun kids are talking about told about the Rougarou. The Rougarou being the basically the swamp werewolf of Louisiana that will eat your face if you don't listen to your parents and go to bed when you're told.
Well, outside of Louisiana, for the rest of the country, we mostly just use the boogeyman. Don't do that because the boogeyman will get you.
Exactly. Exactly.
So outside of Cajun country, it's the boogeyman.
Boogeyman / jinn / Rougarou.
Yeah, all those the scary children folklore type thing. Okay.
Exactly.
Sounds interesting.
It is. It's really good. That's what I've been listening to. I recently also on Talk Is Jericho. He interviewed a guy he's had on there a few times. This dude has a documentary on Netflix right now about called The Sons of Sam, about the Son of Sam's slayings. Yeah. It's about a guy who was an investigator and writer who went into deeper detail on things that the cops in New York City in the 70s looked past. Yes. For those who are not familiar, I'll kind of give you the cliff notes. In the 70s, when all this was going on, New York City was going through a tough time with poverty because just, New York, I guess, or whatever. And then the city was hurting for money, so they had to cut costs on utility workers and police force, and more specifically, the trash men. So, trash was terrible in New York in the 70s. So
everything was on strike, right? They're like strikes and stuff, right?
Yeah, exactly. So the mayor of the city at the time needed a win, basically, in the eyes of his constituents. I apologize if I sound like I'm suffering from indigestion, because I am. I had crawfish and French fries and etouffee for dinner, and I may or may not be drinking on a hurricane.
All those river roaches.
Hey man, don't be hating. You like the river roach? I'm drinking a hurricane, by the way, from Razoo's.
Stand back, and it's not green.
No, it is straight up Bourbon Street. hurricane, hand grenade, alcohol. But anyway, basically the mayor needed to win and stuff like that. So the police force pushed. I'm forgetting his name. The Son of Sam killer. Why am I blanking on his name? I just watched a whole freaking documentary about it.
I haven't watched. I know the documentary you're talking about. I haven't watched it yet. I was planning on doing that soon. I just haven't done it yet.
They skipped over. Basically, the cops just skipped over everything, and much in the way that cops tend to do. They need a perp.
Yeah,
and they need to push the case through and be done with it, and that's what happened here, according to the man who this documentary is based around.
Okay.
So I definitely listened to Jericho talk about it, went and watched it. It's very interesting. It's coming it's narrated by Paul Giamatti, who talks in the perspective of the guy who the documentary is about, the investigative reporter. It's done from his perspective, so it's really interesting. I think if you're
Paul
into
Giamatti,
true crime,
I mean that's Paul Giamatti. He's a good actor.
He's a big fat liar.
Big fat liar for me. for if you're a comic book fan, he was Rhino. Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Oh God, yes, that's true.
Yeah, and he was a few other things too where he played like a creepy, like bastard type character. But to see him do documentary, that's pretty good. Interesting.
Yeah, it was awesome. So that's what I've been listening to and watching. Playing, I don't play right now, Aaron. I don't play. I'm all business.
So you think you're Chris Rock's dad?
Oh, you think I'm playing?
You think I'm playing?
Yeah, no. Who has time for that mess right now? I no time. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, my wife has plenty of time with her gimped up foot to play all the games she could possibly get her hands on. What Pokemon game are you playing, dear?
Shield. I mean, she's playing Sword. She's playing Sword because Gwen is playing Pokemon Shield, and my daughter is playing with Bacon. Any chance that she can, sometimes not without asking permission first and trying to get it in before school. She's been playing.
I haven't played with her on a Pokemon or Animal Crossing in a while.
She gets on and she starts to say that Bacon might get on anytime soon, so I have to play and check.
I will tell you when I'm on.
So
we have the group chat, yo.
Yeah. Well, what Gwen doesn't realize is that I think she's figured it out now. Take that back. I think she's figured it out. But we have access to shutting off her Wi-Fi on her Nintendo and activating it, so we know when she's on because we get an alert. It says Gwen switch on. And
technology.
And so she has to ask permission first because she has to finish her schoolwork, has to do her chores, then she can play for about like an hour or so. But she doesn't. She tries to sneak it on in the morning, and we get little registration marks or little registration notifications whenever she's playing. And we're like, Gwen, did you play your Nintendo this morning? No. Gwen.
Oh, God.
Yeah,
I don't want to say.
Since we're friends, I can see how long she's been playing a game.
Since we have her internet, we know how long she's been playing a game.
Children's, you raising some bad seeds over there, man.
We have.
I'm on the Leon fight right now, so I'm on the final boss that I know of on Shield. I'm sorry.
I have no idea what that means.
I defeated everybody except for the champion.
Oh, yeah, so boom in your face.
So she's a gym leader.
Yes. Oh, no.
Okay, not yet.
I defeated all the gym leaders.
Show enough.
Okay.
Show enough.
So yeah, that's what we as a community household over here have been watching / reading / looking at / playing / wishing we had more time for because we work too much. But what about you, buddy? What have you been doing?
Are you sure there's nothing else that you haven't watched or anything yet?
Oh, you know what? Yeah. Oh gosh, that's right. Well, literally minutes before we got on here, while we were eating our dinner, we watched the first episode of MODOK. That's right.
Yes.
Dude, holy crap!
With the voice of what we all joke about being Parker's dad, his real dad, Patton Oswalt. And for those who don't know, Parker is my 6-year-old son, who looks like a baby Patton Oswalt.
He's a good kid, man. He's got his own drum he's marching to. He's your own little Orange Cassidy.
Orange Cat City.
Orange. There you go. Orange Cassidy.
So what'd you think of it?
I really liked it, man. I didn't. I even said this while we were watching. I was like, this has a real Robot Chicken feel. And then, of course, in the credits, it was like, oh, co-produced or co-created by Seth Green. I was like, okay, well, there you go.
Yeah.
Patton Oswalt, man, that guy's story is a tragic one with his wife and everything, but he really seems to have embraced the work and put himself into his work and because she was a writer. I'm not trying to bring the conversation down, but it's like I'm very happy with him. I'm saying all that to say this is a cool thing for him because he's a huge comic nerd.
Yes,
he loves all things, and so I'm sure whenever he either had the idea himself or they came to him with like, "Hey, do you want to be in the MCU technically?" Like, yeah. Like, how? Well, you want to be MODOK? Was it organism designed only for killing? What the hell does the M stand for?
He said it in the show.
He did. I can't. I'm blanking on it. I'm going to blank a lot tonight. It won't be my last time. But no. I really enjoyed it, man. What did you think about it?
Yeah, I finished watching another show and I saw it pop up on the screen. I'm like, oh, and it was like a few minutes or like, less than an hour. I'm like, okay, I'll check it out. I'm up enough as it is. I might as well just check it out. And yeah, from the very start, it's very Robot Chicken-esque. The comedy is there. His voice fits Robot Chicken MODOK.
Oh,
his voice is perfect for that character.
Absolutely.
It's perfect casting. And I'm watching it, and it's just the jokes are flowing. It's like the little one-liners, the jokes, just with AIM, the beekeepers, everything. And
the beekeepers, yes.
It was just, and without giving anything away, this is where it hits Robot Chicken style, where you have MODOK's secret life. And I'll just leave it at that. His secret hidden life. That's Robot Chicken right there. That's the Robot Chicken part.
Yeah, exactly.
The comedy and the hijinks from that. But the Marvel part is like the action, the characters, and the plot and all that. But it's just very well done. I kind of really wish it wasn't on Hulu. I kind of wish this was on, I would say Netflix, but I know Netflix and Disney are kind of parting ways more so.
They're taking a break from each other.
Yeah, the divorce is becoming finalized, so to speak. But this was just, it was really well done. Really liked it. I can't wait for the next episode. I'm glad that it's a mature themed show to really kind of go with some of those jokes that they talk about.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, just overall great. Just overall great. I could just imagine just Patton Oswalt walking into a room, and in his mind, he's thinking he's probably going to play like another character. He's probably going to play like an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. or maybe like a Hydra organization, executive or something like that. He walks into the room, they see his giant head, and he's like, okay, that's MODOK.
Yeah.
He's cast. He's straight away cast for MODOK. They see that giant head get out of the elevator, and you can see Kevin Feige. I can hear Kevin Feige. You see that big-headed guy? That's MODOK. Go bring him in. Sir, that's Patton Oswalt. Who? I don't care. Go bring him in. He's MODOK. That's probably what happened.
Probably so. I mean, in my mind's eye, I like to think that, the lady who tried out for, she tried out for Catwoman in Batman Returns. She played Finkel and Einhorn, Finkel and Einhorn.
Can't think of her name.
Ventura. Why am I? Yeah, see,
I can't think of her name.
Exactly. You know what? That's the name of the episode. We can't. We're blanking tonight.
Mind blank.
Mind blank. We're so mind blanked. Get the blank out of here. My brain is just complete mush right now.
Yeah, I know you're talking about Sean Young.
Sean Young. I like to think he took the Sean Young route and got a radio flyer and sat in it and have somebody paper mache a thing around him like he's MODOK. Just to campaign for the role.
I mean, Patton Oswalt, the guy's funny, but seriously, if you ever wanted to see what Butters from South Park would look like in his 40s, it's Patton Oswalt.
It's true. Seriously,
That is him.
that would
Yeah.
have been that seems like it'd be right up his alley.
Definitely right up its alley. So yeah, love MODOK show, and I guess I'll jump into what I saw or what I've been doing. So, listening to Talking Shop podcast with the good brothers Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. Normally, I recommend this podcast quite a bit because it's like you got like 45-minute episodes or less. They're pretty short, but the newest episode, Gallows does an amazing Undertaker voice impersonation, and it is hilarious.
Yes,
it is so funny. I kept rewinding it when he's talking about Undertaker shopping in a grocery store, just to hear him do the impersonation, and it's so funny. So I have to recommend Talking Shop, the podcast. That is great. There is one true crime podcast I listen to. It's fun, but at the same time, it's a little annoying. It's called the show's called Crime Junkies, and the premise is like these two girls talk about true life crimes that have happened in the past, but they do it in a format to where it sounds like they're gossiping about somebody. So it's fun at first, but after a while, it kind of gets annoying. You just want to choke these women.
We're not going to
out of annoyance.
That, but right,
out of annoyance, I'm not really going to choke them. I'm not.
We got you.
Yeah,
you metaphorically.
Not a violent person. Not a violent person. So
I don't even know you anymore, Aaron.
Yeah.
Who are you?
So for gaming, I finished Zombie Army 4. Finally finished it.
Oh yeah, what'd you think?
Game is amazing. I loved it. It was a lot of fun. You go. It's a combination. There's a game out there called The Division, which is very meta with what's happening in 2020. That was a fun game, but it combines The Division along with Left 4 Dead because you fight zombies and there's all these little jokes and Easter eggs and stuff, and that was fun. I know a lot of people didn't. When I told them about it, they're like, I don't like it, or they couldn't get into it. But this game was just super fun. I love the inside jokes, especially whenever one of the things you have to do per stage is find like a disemboweled hand that's kind of crawling around. Like think of Ash from Evil Dead Part 2.
Okay.
Where the hand is by itself crawling around.
Right.
Well, in each stage, there's a hand crawling around. And when you shoot it, you get a bonus point. You get bonus points. But each hand has a different name. And they range from God. The hands' names range from Kruger to Romero. There's one hand that's called Franz. Hans and Franz.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's awesome.
So there's all these like different looking names for the hands, and that's a lot of fun. Then there's these creepy like porcelain dolls everywhere in the game. And if you shoot them, they do crazy things. Or crazy things will happen. So it's just stuff like that. And I finally beat the game. And in the game, it becomes like Wolfenstein where you fight Hitler. But not just any kind of Hitler. This is like Necronomicon, zombified army of Hitlers.
All steampunky and like robot arms and crap?
No, just like, not steampunky, just like a bunch of like deadite Hitlers that just come after you. And you have to fight them all. A lot of fun. Okay, this game was just so much fun. I really enjoyed it. I definitely recommend it. I've pumped so much time in this game. Definitely recommend it. So, and it's free with the Xbox Game Pass. So definitely check it out. And then I started playing more Battletoads, but then I don't know. I haven't really played too much because I've mostly been focusing on Zombie Army 4. For watching, I finished season 3 of the Mayans, so that season is finished. A lot of fun. The last 2 episodes, they cram a lot of stuff. I want to say crammed. They put a lot of things that happened in the last 2 episodes, the final 2 episodes, that put everything together. It closes out certain things, raises more questions, brings more cliffhangers to it, and it ends on a giant cliffhanger, which is all I'm going to say because I know a lot of people want to get into Mayans. and it's just such a good show. The writing is just amazing. And I have to, again, I'm going to give mine's more of a liking than Son's, just because the writing is just so much better.
Really?
Yes.
Speaking of Sons, I wanted to ask you last time because it came to mind. Do you have any Sons crossover? Are we seeing any guys from
Yes.
Sam Crow?
Sam Crow makes a few crossovers. There are some cameos from Sam Crow.
What? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I used to religiously watch Sons of Anarchy because it's just the show was magnetically. It's hard to look away. It was just such a unique show.
The final episode of season 1 of Mayans ends with a big controversial crossover. So,
oh man, that's awesome.
I'll just leave it at that. That way you can kind of watch it, and you'll be surprised too, because it involves one of the popular characters.
Oh god. Okay, gotcha.
So good. And then I watched the New Mutants movie. Loved it. I don't understand why the hate was. I don't get the hate for that.
I don't either.
I don't get the hate. I think it was really well done. The pacing was better with the rewrites. But then again, this movie's been on the shelf for 4 or 5 years. It's
Something
been
insane like that, yeah.
It's been on the shelf for a long time, and this is like the kids of the Who's Who shows at the time. You had,
I was about to say, yeah. Game of
you had
Thrones.
Maisie Williams from Game of Thrones. You had the older brother from Stranger Things. You had the blonde-haired girl who's now in Queen's Gambit. She was in here as Magic.
Dude, she was so good as Magic.
Yeah, she was good.
Look.
And then the whole Lockheed thing. The whole Lockheed,
I know. I was like, what?
You see the puppet, and at first I'm thinking, first my thought is, well, that's Magic. That's not Shadowcat. Lockheed has the connection to Shadowcat, not Magic. But when the movie plays out, it makes more sense. Yeah, so exactly. I was all for that. I was all for that. I think they replaced I think the only two gripes I have, they replaced Magma with Sunspot in the movie, which I can, okay, that's fine. They took Cypher out. They didn't bring Douglock in there. They kept him out, which I think having him in there would have been pretty interesting, just to kind of get around them sneaking through the hospital.
Do you think it would have made it too easy?
I think it would have made it interesting for most of these characters figuring out what their powers are or are afraid of using them. I think having Doug in there as Cypher, being able to sneak in and out of electronically secured facility without telling anybody, would have been a better sub story for this movie, and also brought in an original character, not original character, but an original team member to the movie. The villain, which was essentially the demon bear,
right?
I think that was really well done, and I see a lot of people hated on the demon bear as the bad guy, or as the villain, or the boss, or whatever.
Which is dumb, because if you know anything about
if you know about the comic, you know about the thing, and I believe that's the reason why this movie got hate a lot, because nobody read the comics, and so they were introduced to something that they knew nothing about. Because with X-Men, everybody remembers the 90s cartoon show. Spider-Man, everybody remembers the cartoon shows.
Mm-hmm.
Iron Man, there's cartoon shows, but they did a great job of explaining one character for Iron Man. There wasn't a whole team of people, it's just one. X-Men Origins did a decent job of explaining characters that people knew about. Mm-hmm. New Mutants, nobody knew about these characters. They didn't know about them.
I'm sorry. I've got so many things I wanted to talk about on it, but I'm sorry. I keep interrupting you. I apologize.
No, go ahead and speak. Speak your mind.
No, I'm just coming from somebody who is in this industry and has been in this industry for a long time. Because this is going to sound like boys club, comic shop guy. It's not meant to be that way, but I know the source material.
Mm-hmm.
And this movie is so steeped in the source material that for a second there, I wasn't so 100% convinced it was a demon bear so much as it was Shadow King. Yeah. I thought we had some Shadow King stuff going on. I'm not exactly sure that we still don't, because with the whole Essex thing and everything, all this stuff works hand in hand from the original stories back in the day. The whole point of Essex was to perfect mutant genes and experiment with them.
That's true.
That's exactly what we had here.
Well, also remember that this movie was part of a 3-movie set that was opening the door for Essex. We had Logan, we had New Mutants, and we had X-Men Apocalypse.
Yep.
That all 3 of those dealt with Essex, which never played out. We never got the final shot of John Hamm as Mr. Sinister, which should have happened. This movie could have been the crossover that was needed for bringing mutants into the MCU. That's what should have happened, because you have a young cast that can still grow with the company.
Yep. That
can really work them out, and you have a possibility of introducing more team members and team people in there. My only 2 nitpicks, again, besides the cast of characters that they had, I think the whole Rain Danny Moonstar thing, this is where they should have brought in Karma and have her character come in there, because I know Karma and Moonstar have the connection. They have the relationship, not Rain. Rain kind of is her own, like she's technically the lone wolf. She's essentially the lone wolf.
Yes.
of the group. So, and then my other gripe is that they made Ileana seem like this like complete and total badass. But then when that bear shows up, she gets mollywopped. She starts getting mollywopped.
Yeah.
And, it's not that, okay, this is a bigger threat, because she does hold her own, but it kind of like they nerfed her midway battle, I felt like.
Yeah. And
she's supposed, and out of all the people there, her and Cannonball are the 2 biggest and most powerful mutants. Cannonball is indestructible when he's in his form. He cannot be hurt. He cannot be killed. It's only whenever he turns his power off that he gets hurt. And then Ileana essentially goes to hell and can teleport. So it was interesting. Kind of wish they would have made a mention of her brother here, or like at least once in the movie. Seriously. But they didn't do it. But other than that, I really liked it. I thought it was a good movie.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I really didn't get where people were coming off of, other than only way I can chalk that up is that they just didn't know the source material. And
yeah, they didn't.
I think what we're accustomed to as moviegoers, especially when it comes to these comic crossover MCU big picture story things.
Yeah.
We want the low hanging fruit. We want the easy digestible story that is spoon fed to us.
Yes.
A lot of these movies, and understandably so, I get why they do it. They just don't trust the viewer. Like a lot of comics also have this problem nowadays, where you're not giving the viewer or the reader enough credit to put 2 and 2 together without having to spoon feed it to us. Yeah. Here comes the plot device, incoming plane. Well,
okay, let me ask you this question then. When say like a new Marvel movie comes out, there's always the blockbuster Marvel movie that comes out, or a blockbuster movie that comes out, and some publishers will release a comic book tie-in. How many people, or how much of the comic book, or how many of the comic tie-ins actually get sold versus don't get sold?
I can tell you honestly, it's 50-50.
Okay.
And it's usually people that already know the story.
Yeah.
I'd like to sit here and tell you that comic shops have flourished like beyond measure because of comic book movies, and to a degree they have really done well. I mean,
yeah,
the existence of this MCU stuff and all this has definitely not hurt the comic book industry. So nothing would help it. But like to your point, when it comes to these movie preview tie-ins, it's the guys that know the stuff. It's just they're getting it because they like the characters. It's a book they didn't have on their pull, and it was on the wall. And we have the regular cover and a variant, and we have the 1-10 variant. So it's just they want, as comic fans, especially comic book readers, we're completionists.
Yeah.
So like if you're a reader who reads Iron Man and you read the Avengers, whenever these Iron Man movie tie-ins come out, you're like, well, I gotta get it.
Yeah.
So
I understand.
Yeah, I think what's really cool though is that that they're doing them. But
Well,
I think it kind of goes. But I'm sorry. I think it kind of goes about what we said last time. How I think previews, trailers put out too much.
Yes,
they do. And
they do.
have a hard time. I would have a hard time anybody disagreeing with me because they give the whole movie away. What
they
do
do.
What's
They
the point?
They do.
They don't trust the viewer.
I know for comic book tie-ins, just from my own experience, the last superhero movie comic book tie-in that I bought was for Amazing Spider-Man 2, where they explained how he got the new costume. Well, the old costume with the basketball texture got torn up in like a airplane turbine or some kind of turbine engine, and he had to make his new costume, which is pretty much the most comic book accurate costume Spider-Man has ever had. From the eyes to the webbing to the pattern, it's probably the most comic book accurate. Now, the last comic book tie-in that I got was the Pacific Rim comic book tie-in for part 2, and that was it. And again, I mostly get these movie tie-ins because I love the character and I love the franchise. I have the Trick or Treat comic book tie-in. I have the Pacific Rims. I have the Godzillas, which I do need to get. I need to talk to you about Godzilla and Kong later on, because I do need to get those trades. But these comic book tie-ins are. I wonder if they're selling or not. I'm just really curious if people come in and buy enough of them to justify the material of them knowing about it.
I don't think people are. I think if I'm understanding what you're asking is the preview tie-in prepping people for the material in the movie is what you're asking, basically.
Yeah, and enough people are buying them to know that information.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, and this is a gripe that's been going around recently with the comic shops, is that Marvel, especially Marvel, is not capitalizing on big storylines from movies and just in the comic books period by putting out reprinting trades.
Yes.
We sell so much trade, dude. Okay, Invincible. I can imagine
Invincible. I can imagine that.
We cannot keep Invincible trades on the shelf. We can't. Not just the trades. The $100 and some odd slipcase hardcovers, the freaking $60 omnibus compendiums. Forget it. Like, people, money is not an object, man. They're doing it. It's crazy.
Okay. Well, yeah, I know that even Walking Dead, the trades, when the show first came out, the trades were just, you couldn't find any of them. And when you found a trade, even a compendium, it was either the resale value was skyrocketingly high or sold out. You didn't really have any options for that. And I remember going into Half Price Books, and they had the first, I believe, 5 volumes of the Walking Dead trade. And retail, they're like, I think $13 retail. Well, Half Price Books were selling them at $35 each. $35 each for the first 5. And that's the demand for them.
Half price my ass.
Yeah, Half Price wasn't being very half price. But I just remember, like, everybody was going crazy for Walking Dead. Yeah. And I had issue number 1 up until the ending of, or midway through the 2nd season. So,
like, trade number 1 or like issue 1?
Issue number 1.
You sold it? Please tell me you sold it.
I sold it. As I said, I had the first 52 issues.
Oh my god! I bet you got a nice little chunk of change for that.
I was able to buy a PS3 that I used a few times.
Nice.
So,
yeah, really and truly, it's kind of hit or miss in regards to whether or not trades and like preview books and stuff like that are doing justice to the viewership for the stuff that's coming out. Oddly enough, it's so weird because, like, you're putting out like a Spider-Man movie or whatever, and we're not getting any new printings of trades. But yet again, Shang-Chi is about to come out, and we're getting inundated with Shang-Chi stuff in the previews for us to order. And I think the only reason for that is going back to what you said about New Mutants. Like, nobody knows the source material.
No.
I'll be honest with you, I am not well versed in Shang-Chi. Like people have been coming in like, hey, who's this Shang-Chi guy? I'm like, the master of Kung Fu?
I know a little bit of
Question
Shang-Chi.
mark?
I know a little bit of Shang-Chi mainly because of his ties with Iron Fist here and there.
Yes.
So, and I'm a big Iron Fist fan, and he would, because they're both karate. Let's just put, they're both martial arts fighters, and they would have crossovers here and there. But Iron Fist got the Cage connection, while Shang-Chi kind of did his own thing. But Shang-Chi he's always kind of been in the background. I know when I was reading Spider-Man, he was in there helping train Peter Parker to be like a martial artist, the way of the spider fight style with Iron Fist.
Mm-hmm.
And then they brought in, I think, Blade to help train too. So he was always sort of like a background character that ultimately he needed more of a limelight. He really needed a revamp for villains and for just everything. And I think this is a good opportunity. He's getting the Ant-Man opportunity to, spread his, popularity, to really show his story to the world, and not to get too political or anything like that. This is catering to more of the minority superhero group. This will be I think they said like it's predominantly Asian cast with Asian lead, and it could be a fun movie. It could be a very fun movie.
I think it's wonderful, man. I'm excited to watch it because I'm going in with the blind optimism that everybody else is going in with, because I literally only have base knowledge. I know that he's tied in with the Mandarin at certain points. I know he's tied in, like you said, with Iron Fist.
He is for the MCU. He is for the MCU, not in the comic books, but he is for the MCU.
Well, see, there you go. That's what I'm saying. I'm excited just to learn.
Yeah, again, I only know Shang-Chi just because of his ties with Iron Fist and how they presented him I would get an issue every so often of Shang-Chi. And I remember, I think he was once rebranded or rebooted as like a pit fighter, like a street fight, like a Ryu type street fighter. Then they rebranded him as like, like a warrior, the Warrior of New York type of thing, of Chinatown.
Like a Bruce Lee Kung Fu, walking around kicking people's ass thing.
Pretty much. Word. Like, and then I've also read with, or I've seen stuff. I don't know if it's true or not, but apparently Fin Fang Foom is in this movie too as the Guardian. So they're like finally like introducing that character in this movie.
That is a task and a half, I'd imagine. I
don't know if they're doing it correctly or if this is true or not. I hope it's false, because that character is a big beast of a character, and I don't want to see that one just kind of watered down for essentially just, a sidekick. Yeah,
dude, one of his literal nicknames is he whose back scratches the sun.
I mean, I from what I've seen, from the toys I've seen, the Guardian looks like Falcor. I'm not going to lie. It just looks like Falcor.
It looks like a Falcor that got skinned like you would skin a rabbit.
Yes.
It looks ugly. But we'll see. I'm not, like I said, I'm cautiously optimistic.
Yeah. But also, have they released any new not new warriors, but any new mutant trays recently? Have they like re-released any?
No. It's odd. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and that, I think that's what kind of helped make. I think that's what it kind of helped make this movie bomb a little bit more, is because there's no re-release source material. That would have really helped out.
I think New Mutants kind of got caught in that transition shuffle too, which I think didn't help its case. Yeah. I think it literally was put on the back burner. So I think when it came down to them wanting to go and reprint, the original trades, 20,000 copies of something, they probably didn't see it as a win-win situation. Yeah.
Yeah, back burner reshoots, because you could tell where the reshoots happen. Mm-hmm. Because I'll just say this: the guy who plays Sam, who plays Cannonball, in one scene he's very clean shaven. The next scene he's got like a 5 o'clock shadow. Scene after that he's clean shaven again. This guy went through puberty, probably on set when they were refilming everything, and he did a great job. The accent was really good. Mm-hmm. It was really good. Maisie Williams, her Irish accent was tolerable. It was tolerable.
Yeah, passable.
It was passable. And
it's a shame that Sam Guthrie's hair wasn't a white guy, flat top, blonde, flat top situation.
He didn't have that Brian Pillman mullet.
Nope. It's a shame.
So yeah, but also kind of jumping from that movie to the next movie, the movie that literally came out today. Everybody's been talking about it. They've been showing commercials for it. In fact, we got, depending on who you talk to, we either got one of the best matches of the year or one of the worst matches of the year at WrestleMania Backlash because of the cross promotion. And this was Army of the Dead. This was okay. No, wait. I read that wrong. This was Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead. Yeah, you have to put Zack Snyder's in front of it. He has that in his contract for a few movies that I've started researching, that it's Zack Snyder's and then the movie title.
So what does that imply, Aaron? Tell our listeners, when you have Zack Snyder's enter the whatever the name of the movie is here, what are you in store for?
You are in okay. I'm trying to start this off where I don't sound like I'm hating the guy, but I'm also not sounding like I'm praising the guy. I like horror movies. That's no secret. I love them. They're my jam. So my first introduction to Zack Snyder's work was the remake of Dawn of the Dead. At the time, all I knew was it was his movie, and that was it. So I didn't know that he had other people writing the movie for him, and had other people doing stuff for him on the side. So I saw Dawn of the Dead remake. I enjoyed it. I thought it was great.
Yep.
It was a good movie. So yeah, I liked it. Then I jump into another one of his movies. I get Watchmen. Then you have 300. You have Sucker Punch. And you start seeing these tropes. You start seeing his checklist of things. And we can kind of go off, I'll say this. J.J. Abrams, lens flare. You're watching the J.J. Abrams movie if there's lens flares everywhere. That's his thing. Michael Bay movie. Explosions. Panoramic, 360 camera work, slow motion. Michael Bay.
Robot testicles.
And robot testicles if it's a Transformers movie.
I'm sorry,
because you have to have that. You definitely have to have that in there. That's something that it's
millions of dollars to have somebody like a team of guys get on a computer.
Pretty much so.
Yeah, you have to have nuts.
Yeah, you have to have those things in there to make it a Michael Bay movie. Now, with Zack Snyder, you have to have several things that make his movie. And if you watch his movies, you notice it enough. He does slow motion. He does shots that pan around that show nature or show shots of motion. Doesn't have to do anything with the movie. He chooses a soundtrack that doesn't fit what he's trying to do, but he's trying to break tense. And lately, he's got hold on one second.
Sure. Do 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 do.
Okay, sorry about that.
There you go.
And most recently, he's done things where he blurs the screen, focuses, blurs the screen, focuses, and does that. It's like he's putting an Instagram filter on the camera. It's annoying. It's annoying.
Oh my God. Yes.
It takes away from the story. It really takes away from the story. So it's frustrating. So getting to Army of the Dead. This movie starts off with slow motion. It starts off trying to be like Zombieland, but failing.
Please tell me Metallica's playing.
No, it's not. It's not Metallica. It's Elvis.
Megadeth. Oh my God. Elvis.
Elvis. It starts off with Elvis.
little less conversation, a little more action, please.
I forget the song now. That I try to block it out.
Oh man, go ahead. Sorry.
I try to block it out. It starts off like he's trying to you remember? Okay, you saw Dawn of the Dead remake, right?
Of course.
Okay, remember the montage scenery with the Richard Cheese song?
Oh yeah, Down with Sickness. Yeah.
Yeah.
Same thing.
They try to do the same thing with Elvis.
Oh.
They try to do the same thing with Elvis, with an opening shot of Las Vegas and things that are happening, and it feels out of place. It doesn't work. It just doesn't work. This movie has a lot of bad CGI. I'm just going to say it up front. A lot of bad CGI. In about 6 or 7 years, this movie is not going to age well at all. It will not be viewed upon as aging very well.
Will it go the way of like Tron Legacy or something like that? Like become real noticeable.
You remember the first Mortal Kombat movie?
Oh, that bad?
Where, with Reptile?
Oh, don't say
It's gonna be like that. I'm just gonna say this: that there is a CGI tiger in this movie, that zombie tiger, that is not going to age well.
Oh my god! Okay, go on.
So you have Batista. WWE's Batista is the main character in this movie. He turned down a role in James Gunn's Suicide Squad to be in this movie. So, it just it's hard to describe.
Dave Bautista, you chose poorly.
Yeah, I mean the movie. Okay, I got to do grading. It's because it's hard to describe this movie without giving a lot away. And I know that you haven't seen it yet. You want to see it.
Oh no, I've seen the trailer. I know that a band of people who are probably military/paramilitary have to make it through Las Vegas apparently, and in trying to get across Las Vegas, happen to come across an organized kingdom of zombies that are track stars and will have none of it. You
are 30% right.
Ooh, okay.
You're 30% right. You're 30% right. The premise of the movie is that Las Vegas is quarantined off from the rest of the world. It is full of zombies. Batista and his crew are going into said quarantine area to go to a vault in a hotel to get stuff out of it to bring back to the person paying them to do it. Okay. And along the way, they run into sophisticated and level tiered zombies. So, and it's their way of getting to point A to point B back to point A. And because it's Zack Snyder, plot holes are all over the place. They are all over the place. This is where he needs a proofreader. Instead of having his wife or instead of having his good friends be his team, he needs to have somebody who actually does the proofreading, not just be a yes man. So, a lot of problems. The movie itself is okay. I'm not going to bash on the movie. The movie itself is okay. It's just a lot of nitpicking scenery and things that happen that make the movie annoying. And these are the Zack Snyder isms. There are the focus, the blur and focus camera transitions, annoying. It takes you out of the movie. You're watching the scene, it's becoming like an emotional scene, and he starts doing that stupid focal point transition, which is stupid. Doesn't need to happen. The action and the gore are great. He does a lot of good practical effects. There are Easter eggs in this movie that happen all over the place. Like you have a scene out of Return of the Living Dead Part 2. You know, the head with the head part?
Mm-hmm.
That plays a role. That happens in this movie. Yes. Okay. Happens in this movie. You have a few other scenes from his Dawn of the Dead remake. There's some cameos or there's some little things that happen in there. Some character tropes that he likes to bring in, like a security guard with a baseball hat that's kind of a dickish character. That's a trope that he always likes to put in things.
Of course,
there's always that trope that he likes to have. It's in this movie. Batista, if you're a wrestling fan, he does his Batista kicks where he like he's wrestling, where he kind of pulls his leg a little bit and jiggles and then kicks him. He does that.
Gosh. Okay. Okay.
The other big nitpick I have is these zombies do a lot of Spider-Man like moves, like poses, like kind of like jumping down. It's like you're watching Spider-Verse with zombie form.
They got their hand down like this, and they're like, "Huh!"
Yes,
and they kick their arm out like this. "Huh!"
Yes, and they Naruto run. All these zombies Naruto run.
Naruto runs.
Yes, you have Naruto running zombies.
This review's giving me the Naruto runs.
I wish this movie was.
That's a T-shirt for you. This review's giving me the Naruto runs. Quote: "Poop shoot Peter Panini."
it definitely does that.
Oh my god!
But basically, if they were to change the title of this movie from Army of the Dead, from Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead to Zack Snyder's Dead Rising, this would be a better movie. This would be a better movie because that is exactly what this movie is. You have Dead Rising mixed in with the game Dead Island, set in the land of the dead from George Romero. So, as far as it's being original, yes and no. He borrowed a lot from other genres, but at the same time, a lot of parts were fun. A lot of parts were pretty cool to see. They basically stole a scene out of Train to Busan with the hibernating zombies, or what do you call it? Frozen zombies type thing that people had to get around. A lot of calls, a lot of inspiration. I'm using inspiration with quotes. Inspirations from other movies, but he just ripped them off. And probably in about 6 years we'll have a Snyder cut of this movie too. To fix all of that. But I mean, yeah, it's not shade if it's truth.
No,
but I mean, I'll give this a 5.5 out of 10.
Okay. Well, I mean, at the end of the day,
I mean, honestly, I would give it a 7.5 or an 8 if it didn't have the blur effect, the blur transitions, and it didn't have like the Spider-Man zombies, like them all doing the pose, them all Naruto running. That wasn't funny. That wasn't cool. That wasn't unique. That was just an annoyance. So, I gave it a 5.5 out of 10.
Here's my FR insight to this movie that I have yet to see. I can tell you that I feel, myself included, that most of us are going to go into anything Zack Snyder does jaded before you see the first single frame.
Yes.
Because we're so used to his tropes. Like, if you were going to a Johnny Depp movie, if you went into a Tim Burton movie and Johnny Depp wasn't in it,
or Helena Bonham Carter,
right? Like I think Big Fish was like one of the few examples of a movie that did not have Johnny Depp in it that Tim Burton directed. So I think what we're kind of like conditioned with now that we're used to what this guy does is that we know what to expect. And so in the back of our mind, we're hoping that he's going to impress us with something different. Yeah. But when he lets us down, as we're programmed to think he's going to do, we're like, oh, of course. You know what I mean? So you're justified in how you feel. But I also think that given what you've seen from what he's done in the past, you're pre-programmed to feel this way. Yeah.
I mean, it's like with Tarantino. With Tarantino, like when he does a movie, you're going to get dialogue. You're going to get monologuing. You're going to get speeches and all these other things that make the Tarantino movies what they are. First, you'll get Sam Jackson. Then you'll get a monologue. And then you'll get like the twist ending, because that's what Tarantino does. There are certain things that you have to do. And to justify Snyder's work as, well, he's not winning an Oscar award. Well, no movie really wins Oscar awards. That's what they are.
No movie that anybody sees wins Oscars. The movies that nobody's seen are the ones that win Oscars. But go on.
So using that as an excuse to justify his work, that doesn't really, I don't get that. I really don't get that. And I know people right now are still like, changing pants after the Justice League Snyder cut because everybody loves that movie. It's compared to what they did in the past with the last movie. Yes, I can agree. The Snyder cut is a better movie, but you could also cut an hour and a half out of it by getting rid of all the slow motion scenes. You can do that by getting rid of all of that. So
the irony, real quick, I'm sorry. The irony would be that, Zack Snyder's favorite song is Slow Motion by Juvenile.
And you know what? I use that anytime somebody brought up the Snyder cut when that first came out. I put the music video there. I was like, "Hey, here's the soundtrack for a Zack Snyder film."
Like that.
And it's the slow motion. It's the slow motion song.
And you know what's really funny? The second bit of irony being, this is probably going to be, I'm literally joking when I say this, but for a man who uses a lot of slow motion in his videos, I bet he's a quick one-hitter quitter in the bed. He's overcompensating.
He probably is.
He's like, if I can't take my time here, I'll take my time here.
He probably is. Yeah, he's probably a minute man. But yeah, and again, I don't hate all of his work. He just needs a better team of writers and a team of producers that can work with him to make him better.
Yeah, fine tuning.
Yeah, just fine tuning. I think that like another example, like with Rob Zombie. I love Rob Zombie's music. I hate his movies. His movies are mostly all terrible, with the exception of like maybe 3.
Yeah, everybody's an inbred, drunk, drugged up redneck,
hillbilly,
beaten hillbilly. Yeah,
that tells nothing but dick and fart jokes.
Hillbilly deluxe.
And his wife is the main star. All of them. His wife is the main star.
I have watched that woman age.
Well, so has the heroine.
Oh, the heroine.
But with Zombie, he needs somebody to write better dialogue for him. He needs someone to really proofread his dialogue because his dialogue is horrendous. It is terrible. I mean, it's just I can't get through when I first saw House of Thousand Corpses, I was like, oh, this is great. This is different. I'm enjoying it. Okay. Devil's Rejects. Okay, this is good. This is a crime movie now. It's like a kind of like a true crime type of story. Very well done. I get it. That's great. Halloween remake. Okay, this is different. I'm enjoying it. I'm liking it. Okay. Halloween 2. Why is his wife in there? She doesn't belong in this movie. She died. Why is she in this one?
To bring in the white horse.
Lords of Salem.
Son.
Lords of Salem. Why?
I tried with that movie, man. I just couldn't.
I even read the book. I even read the Lords of Salem book that he wrote. And to be honest, that whole book is 200 and something pages of a love letter for his wife to give him a blowjob. That's really all it is. Because he devotes at least 4 full pages of her doing that to somebody else.
One could argue that's a power move.
Twice in that book.
This man went and got a book published
with that in there,
with nationwide distribution. So for them, though, I bet this is very romantic. But yeah,
of the character that his wife is playing, to give oral fixation to a character that he was supposed to play in the movie. So, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. But and again, Rob Zombie just needs a better dialogue writer, and he needs somebody to come in there and tell him, okay, Rob, you've hit your hillbilly quota for the day for cast. We can't add any more. Let's hire some good actors now. So he needs like a good team to help him, make a better product. And that just goes back to Snyder with, again, he needs a team to go in there and tell him, hey, this isn't going to work well. Let's pose the question to Twitter, see what they say, because you love doing that to make a better Justice League movie. Let's do this and see what happens. So, I didn't mean to rant on for all that, but
That's what we do, sir.
Yeah, I know.
Whether good, bad, or indifferent, the internet's just going to have to learn to deal with it. I'm sorry, it's who we is.
It is, but yeah, If he was to call this Zack Snyder's Dead Rising, this would be a better movie.
Okay,
This would be a better movie. And if you've played the games, any of them, this would probably go off more of, I think, the third game, like a combination of the first and third game.
Okay.
So, but I mean, yeah, it is what it is. It's fun. Am I going to watch this again? Probably not. Will he try to milk this for him being like this greatest movie since Dawn of the Dead remake? Probably so. But all the Snyder writers out there, I hate to tell y'all, but
Snyder writers,
this is a C+ movie at best.
the ride won't last forever.
Not even if you put it in slow motion, it will not last forever. It's not going to last.
You know, so, I'm going to end up watching it tonight while I'm working and stuff later on this evening, and you know, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, there's that, and just watch it for yourself, and then next week that'll be your homework. Watch that, and then you can give your thoughts on it, because I want to hear your thoughts after you see it to see maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm just spoiled on good independent movies like Train to Busan or Soul Station, stuff like that. Maybe I'm wrong, but this was just overhyped, commercialized Dead Rising movie.
Yeah,
with a non-witty, random soundtrack that tried to play into the James Gunn style of soundtracks, but failed.
Oh man,
yeah, he really tried to do a Guardians of the Galaxy style soundtrack, and it just did not work out.
I'm just out of morbid curiosity, I'm definitely going to put it on tonight. I have to see. Just it's like a train wreck. You can't look away. You gotta see the deal is.
Yeah.
Now, one thing is, before I watched this movie, I've learned a few things about Netflix and James Gunn.
Yes.
Both of these sons of guns have too much money and too much time.
Wait, James Gunn or?
I'm sorry, not James Gunn. Somebody Snyder.
Ryder.
I apologize.
Snyder, yeah.
Scott Snyder. Scott Snyder. Jesus,
Zack
I am
Snyder.
the comic guy. I'm getting all the Snyder writer something or another.
Zack Ryder. Zack Snyder.
Scott Snyder is a writer.
Scott Snyder, 33 1/3%.
Zack Ryder, Scott Snyder, cigarette lighter. Look, okay, who the hell are we talking? Scott Snyder. God dang it,
Zack Snyder.
Snyder. Jesus, I don't even know where the hell I was going with this at this point. But yes, Zack Snyder and Netflix both have too much money and too much time. Because they've got this has got, and you said there's a 3-movie deal for Zack Snyder with Netflix?
I think so. I think he's got a 3-movie deal with them.
Netflix, you got too much money. You don't have to be smart to be rich.
Well, that's why they keep upping the price of Netflix a month. Do you remember when Netflix was only $7 a month?
Yeah, many moons ago.
Yeah, many.
It'll never be
that was when I
soon.
first downloaded the app, and and at the time sold half my movie collection to jump to Netflix. And then like a few weeks later, they oh, here's what we're losing this month, but here's what we're gaining. I'm like, wait a minute, I just sold that movie off. That was one of my favorite movies. So
bastards.
Yeah.
And yeah, so to prove my point, zombies in WWE. For those who don't know, if you don't follow wrestling, the Cliff Notes is that to promote Army of the Dead, they literally had zombie lumberjacks. Lumberjack matches when you have a bunch of wrestlers on the outside of a wrestling ring to basically enforce that the wrestlers who are wrestling in the match inside the ring stay in the ring.
Yes.
If you get thrown out of the ring, you get your ass kicked and you get thrown back in the ring. Now, instead of a bunch of wrestlers around the ring, we had a Vincent Price Thriller moment the funk of 40,000 years. Creatures crawl from every tomb. And like there was zombies crawling over the barrier. Out from under, okay, that's another thing. The zombie came out from underneath the announce table. So you mean to tell me that there was a zombie down there with Michael Cole or whoever the Aardvark or whatever that guy's name is, and Corey Graves.
And it wasn't Carmella.
Yeah. So who knows what that zombie was eating down under that table? My whole point is it was stupid, and I don't give a I'm sorry. I don't give a crap. Earmuffs, kids. I don't care if you're such a loyalist and apologist for WWE that you think my opinion's stupid when it comes to the fact that I watched zombies lumberjack a wrestling match. And not only did I watch that, I watched them presumably eat and devour 2 wrestlers.
Yeah.
And guess what? The next week, one wrestler, MIA, shooting his freaking TV show with his wife and whatever.
Well, he's injured.
The other. Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, he tore an ACL.
Okay. Well, I have a torn heart and a torn brain from having to deal with this. So that's another thing. And then the other quote unquote 8-up wrestler shows up on wrestling next week just fine. It's escapism, people.
Yeah.
I go from the day-to-day grind. At this point, I don't even know what the hell I even watch Raw or SmackDown.
Because if you don't watch it, you'll never know when it starts getting good.
You know what? You're exactly right. And that is why I keep bothering, because the week I don't watch is the same week that Vince either dies or gets his head on straight.
Yep.
And they figure out the formula, which is not a hard formula to figure out. Quit insulting your watchers.
It's not a hard formula to figure out.
And,
it's easy.
Get somebody who can keep up with the storytelling. That's the whole point of this, is to tell stories. And there's no consistency in the storytelling.
It's for entertainment. It's for you want to be entertained. And if you're not entertained,
they're not
doing the job right.
They are no, they are not doing this job correctly. Do you know who's got too much money? Vince McMahon.
Yeah, Vince, he needs to retire. He just needs to let his son take over.
Jesus. Go back to Ireland, have a potato soup, and leave us alone. I don't mean that in a mean way. I'm just saying, like, he's McMahon. That's why I said that. But my point is,
if the borders aren't closed.
Right. No, but like, God, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw that meme where I showed the picture of Vince saying, from when they did the Attitude Era, we think it's insulting your intelligence by giving you bad TV or whatever. And then right below that is a picture of the zombies in the ring.
Yeah. Yeah. What I find annoying is people defending that match and blatantly start saying how bad, like, the AEW Mimosa match was, or the AEW, or anything basically with the AEW, how bad that was, while defending the zombie match because they're loyalists to WWE. And it's, like, this is jumping to another topic. Yeah, I hate wrestling fans. I really hate them.
Do not get me don't get me sharded. Yeah. Don't get me sharded. I'm going to shard on this whole entire thing here in a minute. The Black T-shirt Mafia, which I am a card-carrying member of,
yes,
is some of the most fickle, apologists I have ever met in my life.
Yeah. Next
to Star Wars fans. No offense, Star Wars fans, but some of you people are insane.
Oh my God. With Star Wars fans is like they need a trophy for how much knowledge they have of Star Wars.
Yeah, did you know the old movies had so many people that wrote and directed and have ownership in those movies? Yeah. Did you know that? Because I sure as hell didn't.
Yeah, apparently it happens. I'm trying to prep Gwen because she loves Star Wars. Mm-hmm. I told her, and I've told her before, I was like, if somebody tells you their opinion of Star Wars, don't get mad or upset. Just say okay, and just leave it at that. Just talk about something else.
Exactly.
Because she loves Star Wars. She's like gobbling up everything that she can, knowledge base. She's got the books, she's got the novels, she's watching the shows, all of that. But I have to warn her, the fandom is, well, some enjoy it. There's a lot of toxic people in that fandom, and with wrestling, there's so many toxic people.
Oh my God!
It's like you can't just enjoy it. You have to pick a side, and the annoying people who can't see past WWE, they're doofuses. They're a bunch of doofuses.
Yeah, they're very low. They're a very vocal crowd, and
They
you
are.
can't tell them no different. So
They
it's
are.
like, whatever, dude. Live in your bubble, and just revel in your misery.
Yeah.
And there's
Well-
one half of fans y'all don't even have to deal with. I'm a woman who watches wrestling.
Wait, what did she say?
She's there's a problem we're not dealing with is the fact that she's a woman who watches wrestling, which is a whole nother barrel of monkeys.
You know those don't exist. Calm down. Those don't exist.
Who had to disguise herself at Comic Palooza to get one of them to leave her alone?
I have no idea what you're talking about. That didn't happen. That didn't happen. I have no idea. I do not recall.
Dude, we'd have to do a whole nother episode. We'd have to do a podcast series on the incel boys club and the problems therein. But who has the time?
Or that and the Houston, what's it called? The Houston Cleaner?
Oh my God.
The Rapey Omega? Yeah.
The only thing that guy's cleaned up is his stomach when he. Never mind. Whatever.
No.
It's fine. We're not going to go there.
So
we'll leave it at that.
Okay, so so jumping to the next thing, we gave each other homework last week about
Yes.
Fantasy casting, fantasy bookings, and for me, it was to fantasy cast an Annihilation Wave show, movie, something of Annihilation Wave, and you were given Age of Apocalypse because that you said that's your favorite.
Oh yes.
So I'll go first with my Annihilation Wave, and I'm doing a 2-part movie. This will be a 2-part movie because of all the characters that are involved, who are technically not in MCU currently. They're not in there.
Okay.
So it's quite a few people. So first off, for my fantasy casting, I got to have a director, right? I got to have somebody who's got to bring this thing to life. So I'm going to go with William Eubank. Probably have never heard of him.
Eubank? No.
I never heard of him. But he made a movie recently that is very well done on a tight budget with a good cast. He did the movie Underwater with the girl from Twilight, and the girl, she was in Kristen Stewart. Yes,
Her.
yes. But he did a movie called Underwater. He did another movie called The Signal, which is really good. And this guy is able to write things in with detail and deal with not only small scale things, but also things on a larger scale in the background, which I think plays well into Annihilation Wave. So he's going to be the director, William Eubank. So I got to have my cast of characters, right? I'm going to start off with Quasar. I got to have the good looking guy who's kind of a doofus. He's got to have that long flowing mullet and, just like a kind of relatable guy. I'm going to go with Zac Efron for Quasar.
Okay. I really thought you were about to say. I thought you were about to say Owen Wilson.
No. Well, Owen's already he's in Loki. He's going to be in the Loki show.
Yeah. I was like, these quantum bands. Wow.
Yes.
That's
and
funny.
then
that's awesome.
So along with my cast, because these are all space characters, you gotta have some space characters. So Nova Squad member Richard Ryder. He's going to be the main character of this show. He's going to be the main character, and I chose somebody who can play both awkward, but also can be cold and callous. And he's already played a superhero before in a failed series, but I'm bringing him back because I think he fits the role of Richard Ryder. He could fit it out really good. I'm going with Andrew Garfield.
Oh, I like it.
Andrew Garfield is Richard Ryder. I think he's young enough, or take it back, he looks young enough, and I think he'll bring in like the awkwardness of being someone who has to carry the weight of his entire like protector, breather, and the Nova Corps on his shoulders, because he has to. He's a commander.
Yep.
So it's Andrew Garfield.
Awesome.
But you got to have Sam Alexander in there too, because you got to have the youth. You got to have Nova Sam Alexander, and I'm going with Aidan Gallagher. Don't know who Aidan Gallagher is? He is number 5 from Umbrella Academy. The boy from Umbrella Academy. So I think he'd be a great Sam Alexander.
He would, yeah.
I think he'd do an amazing job with that. He would talk back. He wouldn't listen. Sam Alexander would be the Anakin to Richard Ryder's Obi-Wan. And I think that would really work well. That's a good kind of fitting for those two pair. And then you add then he had Doofy Quasar in there. He's kind of like, missing a few bricks. And it'll just work out. It'll just work out. So then you have Phyla-Vell, the original Captain Marvel's daughter, one of his children, one of his offspring. And I wanted her to be my tank of the movie. She's going to be one of the powerful people.
The badass.
And the badass. But she has to be physically imposing too. She can't just be a random woman that you grit. She has to be imposing. So I'm going with like the 6'3" Gwendolyn Christie from Game of Thrones. As Phyla-Vell.
Yes, I can already see it.
And she can keep her accent. She can keep the accent. I think that adds to the character.
Oh, if there's one thing we've learned from space films, there's nothing more space and nothing more deep solar system alien related than a British accent.
Pretty much so. So with that, you gotta have side characters too. You gotta have some side characters. Those would be the main 4. Phyla-Vell, Quasar, Nova, and Nova. Those are the main 4. But he had side characters. So first up, I'm gonna go Battery Bill. He was teased in Ragnarok. He was hinted at in other things with Stormbreaker. Well, we can't do a guy dressed as a horse. So he's gonna be CGI'd.
I was about to say, this
but the voice, it's all about the voice.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna bring in Lawrence Fishburne for voice Battery Bill.
Dude, yeah. Anytime I think Lawrence Fishburne, I think The Matrix.
Yes.
I think of like, take the red pill and see how far the rabbit hole goes. I can see where he could do that. Or what is it? Mushy.
Well, I wanted to have somebody who has like a deep, soothing voice.
Sure.
But could also sound very Shakespearean.
Yes.
And
perfect.
I think he could do that because he's got that same kind of speaking style as Thor. He's the same style. So got to bring in next side character that's going to cameo here and there, but won't be a main focus. Super Skrull. Got to have a Super Skrull.
That's another voice, surely.
Another voice, yes. And I'm picking one of the most famous voice actors of the 90s and a little bit into the millennium. I'm going with Keith David as Super Skrull. Goliath.
Yes, that's
Spawn.
perfect.
Army commercials.
Army commercials.
Franks and Beans.
Lots of documentaries on Netflix.
Yes. Super Skrull. Because I hear his voice. When I think Super Skrull, outside of Marvel vs. Capcom 3, when I think of Super Skrull, I think of Keith David for some reason. The voice. Got to do that. Next up, this character was introduced in Annihilation. And for the longest time, he's been gone for a while, but he was recently brought back for Venom. So I'm going to go with the character Wraith, who is an unknown, but could play a major character down the road. And because whenever he was introduced, he was essentially a space biker, I'm bringing in Charlie Hunnam as Wraith.
Perfect, dude. Yes.
Charlie Hunnam as Wraith. And so there's that. For the villain, it's Annihilus. There's no getting around it. It's Annihilus. It's always Annihilus. But I'm doing something different for this. I'm going to gender swap So it's not Annihilus the man, it's Annihilus the female. And the reason why I'm doing this is because one idea I had, which they tried to do in the comics, which didn't really make sense for that character, was that whenever Annihilus gets killed off, another egg hatches and another Annihilus pops up. But for a male character, that doesn't really, to me, that doesn't make sense. So I'm going the Mothra route. I'm going the Xenomorph Queen route, to where Annihilus, every so often, she lays an egg. She kind of like mind transfers her memories and everything to that egg, and as soon as she dies, the egg hatches with the memories from the moment that she laid the egg. That way, Annihilus can keep getting reborn. There's always that threat of Annihilus out there, always that threat. And for the character, this will be a mixture of live action as well as voiceover, but I'm going to go with Moira O'Hara, and she's the maid from American Horror Story, the crazy maid.
Oh, yeah.
So, I did the gender swap because I wanted to have her be more of like a cross between the Brood Queen and a Xenomorph Queen, to where she just lays eggs, she builds up the army, she does that, she's the insectoid from the Negative Zone, and she becomes like just a bigger threat, just through infestation. That
I dig it.
Yeah. And as a surprise cameo for this movie, because you always got to have the surprise, I'm going to bring in Silver Surfer, being voiced by Alan Tudyk.
Oh God, yeah, that dude. What can't he do?
So, originally I was going to say Nathan Fillion, but after listening to both voices, Nathan Fillion is getting a little older now. Mm-hmm. He doesn't have the same youthful, energetic voice that he used to have.
Right.
And you can kind of see that if you watch Santa Clarita Diet, he doesn't have that youthful in his voice, that youth voiceful anymore. It's more older. It sounds older. It sounds kind of wispier. Alan Tudyk sounds full of energy. He is full of energy with his voice work. So I'm going to go with him for Silver Surfer. And that will be my fantasy booking for cast.
Sick, dude.
So
would this be a movie or a series?
2-part movie.
2-part movie. I dig it.
2-part movie. First part of the movie is all the heroes coming together, them having different battles at different planets or in space sections.
Trying to figure out what the hell.
Trying to figure out what's going on. Trying to find survivors. Trying to figure out how to beat Annihilus. Doing all of that, and essentially, I would start the movie off with, if it was my way, with Rocket being the surviving member of the Guardians calling out for help, and Ryder answering the call and getting thrown in the battle, and then just snowballs from there.
That'd be sick, man. I love it. That's awesome.
So that's my fantasy casting.
Okay. I love it, man. That's you took a very legitimate, realistic route.
Yes, I tried to.
And I praise you for that.
I try to make it somewhat believable if I could.
Yes. When we said we talked about fantasy booking, I literally did that. I fantasy booked this thing for my Age of Apocalypse. I'm going to say this would have to be, I'd say it'd be a 2-movie. No. 6-episode Disney Plus series. Okay. So, this is a late addition. I didn't think about putting directors in this thing, but since you laid down the groundwork there, this is a very famous director. She's directed a lot of stuff over the years. Responsible for a lot of good, bad, or depending how you look at it, passable storytelling. And her name is Kayfabe. Kayfabe. She's she keeps it kind of real, kind of not. You never know what she's going to do. So, she's kind of hard to understand sometimes.
Wait. So who's her writer? Paul Smackage?
Paul Smackage is the catering guy.
He's catering?
He's the head of catering. If you don't you don't follow the rules in the catering tent. Ooh, let me tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna come down there to Chattanooga, Tennessee, and I'm gonna roll you up. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm Paul Smackage. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna roll you up.
Is he gonna smack that ass?
I'm gonna Paul smack that ass. So anyway, Kayfabe will be my director for this 6 episode miniseries.
Yes.
What I'm basing this casting off of, if you are into comics at all, you probably already know what this book is. When they started the Age of Apocalypse storyline back in the mid 90s, when they did this in the comics at Marvel, they started off with a kickoff issue called X-Men Alpha.
Yes.
So those who are not in your car driving or doing something that's dangerous behind a wheel, if you're at home or on your phone at work and you're not supposed to be back there looking at your phone and you're still doing it because you're a rebel, I applaud you for going your own way. But you can look on your phone and look up X-Men Alpha #1. You'll see this image for the cover. The characters I'm about to list off are on that cover.
Oh, okay. Well, first I got to ask, because I did read Age of Apocalypse growing up. I did read all of that. And one thing that's different between Annihilation Wave and X-Men Age of Apocalypse was Annihilation Wave had 4 books a month. You had each, you had Guardians, you had Wraith, Super Skrull, and Silver Surfer were the books, which led into Annihilation Wave. And Annihilation Wave was a 5-part series, I think. I want to say 5-part, maybe more. I don't remember. But it wasn't a lot. Now, with Age of Apocalypse, you had 6 or 7 different titles going on with that. So, are you looking to condense? Or are you looking to cover everything?
What we're doing here, if I'm in the head of Disney MCU creative here, if I'm the Kevin Feige of the situation, I'm telling everybody, look, this 6-episode miniseries is going to be based around these core characters.
Okay.
We're testing the market. We're going to put our proverbial toe in the water. Since we've acquired everything from Fox, we have the all the toys in the toy box to play with. We're going to go ahead and we took our chances with Guardians of the Galaxy, and I'd like to say it paid off for us. So we're going to do that again, but we're going to do it on crack cocaine. And we're going to amp everything up to 11.
So Stephen King is directing?
That's right. It'll be our. We're going to need a Green Goblin truck. We're going to need. A bunch of random toasters and microwaves to start attacking people. No, look. Okay. And again, this is fantasy book. This will never happen because I'm not entirely sure all these people are still alive. Maybe they are. I'm not sure. You know what? Hold on. Everyone on my list is still alive. So I guess in theory, this could feasibly happen. Okay.
Okay.
So those are all who are playing at home. You might have to do a little research on this, but I'm going to start off with Sabretooth. And if you're familiar with Sabretooth, he's the arch nemesis for a long time of one Wolverine.
Mm-hmm.
If you watch any of these X-Men movies, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yep.
In the Age of Apocalypse, all the characters are kind of turned on their ear. They're not necessarily who they were in the regular Marvel universe. So all your preconceived notions of these characters are going to go out the window.
Yes.
And this casting will definitely help that. So in the role of Sabretooth, I'm going to go back and I'm going to fix it. I'm going to fix something that should have been fixed at Spider-Man 3.
Okay.
I'm going to cast Brock Lesnar as my Sabretooth.
Oh wow. Okay. I can sort of see it because the Sabretooth for a Age of Apocalypse was a beefier one. He wasn't lean and tall, but he was like a beefier designed character. So I can see that.
This man was a mountain of beef. And if we're talking about a mountain of beef, we're talking about Brock Lesnar.
That's true.
And no, you don't need to have acting chops. No one's going to win any Oscars for this at all.
So Zack Snyder's directing this movie?
No, we're going to speed through this thing. This is not going to be, every episode is going to be 3 hours long.
Okay.
So Brock Lesnar is going to be my Sabretooth. in the Age of Apocalypse, there was a character who appeared in Alpha Flight. He was a part of Alpha Flight at one point, and they brought him back kind of out of obscurity for the Age of Apocalypse. You had to deep dive on some of the Alpha Flight Wolverine stories back in the day to really know who the hell this character is. Wild Child. If you're looking at your X-Men Alpha cover, he's the character that's sitting on the back of Sabretooth. He's basically a Weapon 10, Weapon X, however you want to call it. He's basically an offshoot of that.
Yeah, he was like his sort of like semi-pet / brother, or
yeah, something like that.
Something like that, like little kid brother, pet type thing. Yeah, I remember him being like I hate using the word pet, but he was chained up to a Sabretooth, or Sabretooth had him chained.
Yes, he was the attack dog.
Yeah, there you go, attack dog.
The hellhound, if
yes.
you will. Wild Child is going to be played by Darby Allin, AEW superstar wrestler.
Huh. Okay.
Because we're talking about somebody who's small, athletic, and has a certain aura about him that I think would work for Wild Child. If you can imagine Darby Allin with long, stringy hair, big fingernails, a pissed off look on his face, and a chain around his neck, I think you could see Wild Child potentially.
Yeah, you can definitely see that.
So far we're batting 1,000. I think this next one's going to be okay. We might go off the rails. I'm not 100% sure. Colossus. If you're familiar with the X-Men, you know who Peter Rasputin is. He is Colossus. I mean, the man of metal.
Yes.
Okay. So far, I think my casting has been based in realism. We're not relying too heavily on CG. This is the first time we're relying on computer graphics to help us on this.
Okay.
But Colossus is stuck in his metal form in Age of Apocalypse. He doesn't get to change. He's stuck this way. I want to have one Miro, AEW superstar, to voice Colossus.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. I can definitely see that.
Yeah.
So I'm starting to see a theme with your casting for this.
Hold on, let me jump ahead of you a little bit. I would almost say you're right. I only have one more wrestler.
Okay. Just I can see the comparison or the connection right there.
I got to stick to what I know.
Okay.
Right. So far we've taken 3 chances here on people that not many who go to the movies are going to know. You have to be a wrestling fan to understand this casting here. But if you're a fan of franchise television built around a star that's familiar and marketable, then you're going to like my casting for Jubilee. Jubilee will be played by Millie Bobby Brown. I'm blind casting here. This is
okay. No. I can see that. I can see the casting. I'm just going to say this right away because before we have fans say no, usually Jubilee is of Asian descent. Millie Bobby Brown is not.
No, she's not.
Okay, just throwing it out there, just letting you know.
That's why I was throwing out the blind castings. That way everybody knows.
Okay.
As the Kevin Feige of this joint and the money I spent on this ish, I need my money back. Okay. And so I know this girl is attached to successful things.
I'm surprised that you put her as that character and not as another member from that universe, from that comic series.
Who were you thinking she should be?
Well, mind abilities from Stranger Things.
I see where you're going with this.
Yeah.
But hear me out. We'll get to that here pretty quickly. Yeah.
Okay.
Our next casted member of this extravaganza is going to be Weapon X, Wolverine himself.
Okay.
I'm just going to come out and say it. I'm going to have Henry Cavill play Weapon X, Wolverine.
You're gonna have 6'3", 230-pound Henry Cavill.
Hold on a second. Before you cast judgment from your throne of Annihilation Wave, need I remind you that our previous Wolverine was a toe tapping, singing and dancing Broadway Aussie who is every bit of 6'3" himself. So I don't want to hear about my muscle bound Henry Cavill playing Wolverine
on Broadway.
Who's hating on Broadway?
I'm just gonna say this: Henry Cavill is taller than Brock Lesnar, so your Wolverine will be taller than Sabretooth.
He's the boy from Oz.
I'm Kevin Feige.
So Sabretooth cannot call Wolverine Runt anymore.
I has the money, ergo I has the control.
Okay,
And,
I'm just throwing that out there.
Second unit director, Peter Jackson. So we're not worried about height at all.
Okay, there, Gimli.
Okay, I'm just saying. I mean, there. What else you got there, Slick? Huh? My director of photography and my second director for all the ish. I have to. Yeah. So thank you very much.
Okay. No, I'm just I'm pointing out things that other people are going to say.
You're speaking on behalf of the internet, and I get that.
I'm speaking on behalf of the jaded and self-entitled comic book fan that wants to be right about everything and to be non-apologetic.
You know those people don't exist. Are you crazy? Look, so
they exist in every form I have seen.
Weapon X, Wolverine.
Just go to IGN on Facebook and look in the comments. They're always there. I think one is called Rami from 3 Beers and a Mic. He is always in there being negative.
Ooh, it just got real shady up in this podcast, sir.
Yeah. It's a lot of salt from the nachos.
My Phoenix / Jean Grey / love interest of Weapon X in this series.
Okay.
It's going to be played by, and I'm blanking on her real name. I don't know why I can't remember this. The actress who played Rey in Star Wars.
Daisy Ridley.
Daisy Ridley, yes.
Yeah,
she's gonna be my Weapon X, or she's gonna be my Jean Grey.
She'll be your Jean Grey.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, I mean, you give her the right haircut. You put her, you know what I mean? Like,
okay.
I almost want to challenge you to take these people if you in your spare time, and I want you to give our followers who follow our Facebook page a bit of visual reference if you have time, if you feel so inclined to, get my vision.
I'm gonna need you to write all these down. That way I can just quickly Photoshop like a little map after this.
Oh, I will. I'll send you a picture of it. I have it written on my yellow pad right here.
Okay.
Quicksilver is a big part of the Age of Apocalypse.
Now, before you name it, this will be the third Quicksilver that equals Mephisto. So, third Quicksilver, Mephisto.
Conspiracy theory. Cue the X-Files music. My Quicksilver is the son of Magneto.
Yes.
As most of us know.
Currently, I think so currently, because they keep flip-flopping back and forth.
As far as comics are concerned, he's the son of Magneto.
Okay.
We also know Magneto is a lot of things, but what he's not is a spring chicken.
Mm-hmm.
That's an old-ass man.
He is very old.
Yeah. So his son, Quicksilver, I'm going to pull somebody that Comic Palooza is giving us. I'm going to use Mark Paul Gosselaar as my Quicksilver.
Okay. Zach Morris is the Quicksilver.
I want my Quicksilver to be trash. I'm just saying, man. I think it's not unheard of.
No, it'll definitely work. It'll definitely work for Quicksilver. He's a jerk. Zach Morris is a jerk. It fits.
Yep. Exactly.
It definitely fits.
So now, listen. I am calling back to one of the few saving graces that is universally loved and appreciated about the original X-Men movies. My Nightcrawler, Alan Cumming, is going to come back as Nightcrawler.
Really?
Yeah.
Alan Cumming.
Yes.
Not the character from Apocalypse.
No.
Okay.
I mean, are you in disagreement that Alan Cumming was not one of the most appreciated things about that movie?
I think he was a very kind of older and more hermited Nightcrawler. But I think that the kid who played Nightcrawler in X-Men Apocalypse was better because he was more awkward and more scared of society as a whole.
This is the Age of Apocalypse. Nightcrawler leads his own team Excalibur.
He does. He definitely
is a
does.
sword slashing pirate, teleporting German acrobat, blue devil monster.
You know who else is the
toes.
Blue Devil? You know who else is the Blue Devil? Sonic the Hedgehog. You know, Crazy Carl says that there's a Blue Devil that lives in the woods of Green Hill.
Oh my god. I need to go back and watch the movie. I actually enjoyed that movie. It was really good. So that's my Nightcrawler.
Okay.
Alan Cumming. We're bringing him back because also, what the hell is he working on right now? So, my next casting is going to be Sunfire.
Okay.
Those who are not familiar with Sunfire skews Asian as well. Now, did I steer away from that with Jubilee? I did, because I need money. Look at my teeth. I need money. That's a How High reference, by the way. I think you know that though.
I do.
Okay.
I thought you were about to get some Paul Wall grills up in there.
Candy paint dripping. No, okay, look. Sunfire. I'm going to go to the more recent, and I don't know his name, unfortunately. The actor who plays Shang-Chi. Let's just have him go in and play Sunfire.
So you went on double dip Marvel.
This is on Disney Plus.
This is on Disney Plus.
There's no way in hell they're going to take Age of Apocalypse and tie it into what's going on with the MCU. Now, of course, now that I've said that and put that into the existence, they're going to prove me wrong, and I'm going to look like an idiot, and that's fine. I think he's played by Simu Liu.
Okay.
Okay. And this is me just taking a chance. I mean,
okay.
As quasi Kevin Feige, I took a chance on him once with Shang-Chi.
Okay.
I want to dip in my own well. I'm gonna go back again.
All right.
So that's my Sunfire. Blink. Blink is a cool character. I really enjoyed just her visual, just the way she was designed was super awesome. I really enjoyed that, and plus her power is cool. I'm gonna have to cast my only other wrestler for this role. And I've worked with her before on The Mandalorian. I'm having Sasha Banks play Blink.
Sasha Banks played Blink. Okay.
Yep. Si, senor. Pink hair. Backstabber. No, I'm kidding. No, I mean, I think she would do well as Blink.
Okay. I can see her as Blink just because of the colored hair. She's really good. She's really good with coloring her hair.
She wears it well.
She does. I can kind of see that.
Yeah. Magneto. This is a big one for this show.
Okay.
Even if you, I mean, we talked about some heavy hitters in this lineup so far, but if you're familiar with X-Men, you know who this character is. And I'm going to go a little different here. Again, This is blind casting. I need strong performance. I need buzz. I need money. I'm going with Pedro Pascal as my Magneto. The Mandalorian.
Oh, I know who Pedro Pascal is.
Okay.
I know who he is. I'm trying to see a connection to Magneto.
Shave the silly mustache off.
Okay.
Dye his hair white and push it back along with the ponytail sticking out of the helmet.
Okay. That could be a good call.
You need a commanding leader. This guy can command a room. I've seen him, carrying
Okay.
Star Wars on his back.
Okay.
So that's what I'm going with for that. Rogue, his love interest. I'm going to go with actress Toni Collette as Rogue.
Now, Toni Collette. Which current Toni Collette, or you're gonna go back in time?
That's a good question. And yes, we're going to go back in time a little bit.
Because she looked old in Krampus, and that came out like 5-6 years ago,
Yeah.
and she looked pretty old in that movie.
When I wrote this down, I had Sixth Sense Toni Collette in mind.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's where we're going to go. But then again, also, I'm Kevin Feige. I has money.
You have money.
I will
Okay.
Benjamin Button out this woman, and she will look as young as hell, as young as I want her to look.
Okay.
By golly.
So I'm looking at the poster, and you've got 3 people left. You got 3 people
Yes.
left on the poster.
That is correct, sir. This one is probably the weirdest one so far.
Oh, you mean besides returning old Alan Cumming for Nightcrawler, and 11 as Jubilee?
Can you imagine when this? Okay, if this really happened and this casting list dropped on the internet, good, bad, or indifferent. To quote Eric Bischoff, controversy creates cash. Everybody will tune into this series.
Okay.
By announcing this, they will have spiked Disney Plus subscriptions by like 300%.
Spiked.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and this one might be the weirdest one in my opinion, but I just want to do it because I want to give the guys some damn work outside of directing episodes of Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I want Fred Savage to play Gambit.
Fred Savage.
Yeah. Dude, I am Kevin Feige. I am rich. I'm eccentric. I answers to nobody. And if I told Fred Savage, hey man, I'm going to pay you a bunch of zeros to come play Gambit, guess who's going to come play Gambit?
Fred Savage, right? Wonder Years, Fred Savage.
Yeah. But I'm thinking Austin Powers, mole.
Kevin Arnold.
Yes.
Fred Savage.
Yes.
To play Gambit.
Yes.
To play Ladies' Man Gambit.
No, not Princess Bride Fred Savage. Just let it simmer. Let it simmer.
You're going to have to nuke that chicken.
Deep fry it with a can of beer up its butt.
Oh my God. I would say air fry, but that's what his hair looks like.
Oh, come on. Come off it, mate.
No.
I got the money. I'll make it happen.
It's, again, this is fantasy booking. This was your homework. So,
okay.
Fred Savage.
Never question me again. Okay, now.
Oh, I'm going to do that right now.
Mean day, Harry.
What? I'm messing with him. I'm having a go at him, mate. All right.
I think I just found the title for this episode. Keep it Fred Savage.
It's you can call this episode a lot of things. I can promise you that. Bishop.
Okay.
I feel very confident in my Bishop casting here. This man stays very busy in Hollywood.
Tank Abbott?
Rolls. Yes, I want 3-count Tank Abbott to play Bishop for me. I want him to come out with his big stupid beer belly and his stupid gloves with no fingers on them, and I want him to sing about being Gambit.
He's got a shiv. It could work.
Isn't he dead?
No, he's alive. He's still alive.
Barely?
Only his fight career is dead.
Oh, okay. I am genuinely shocked by that he's still alive.
He's still alive.
Yeah. No. Bishop. Again, I need money. I spent a lot on this series. The catering alone. I had Fajita Pete's come out for like 6 months and cater this thing. It is not cheap. So
I'm taking a water swig right now to get ready for this answer.
Shout out to Fajita Pete's. Okay. Bishop will be played by one. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Wow. It will be played by Idris Elba.
Okay, that's a good choice.
Yeah.
He's not Fred Savage, but that's a good choice.
But it's a Savage cast, though. Okay.
Okay, and you have one character left.
I has one character left.
One main character left. The reason this whole thing is coming together.
Some would say he's kind of important to this whole entire thing.
His name is in the title.
He's kind of instrumental in this whole entire thing. We're going to have to cast Apocalypse. And this character, Apocalypse, has been played before. I like the actor. What was his name? He played Poe Dameron?
Oscar Isaac.
Oscar Isaac, who's also playing Moon Knight.
And who also played Miguel Spider-Man 2099 in Spider-Verse.
Are we having 2 consecutive episodes where we've mentioned Oscar Isaac?
Yes, we are. We mentioned him last
welcome
week.
to the Oscar Isaac podcast. I am your host, Chris Foreman, with their co-host, Undisputed Aaron.
Oh, so we moved on from
all things Oscar Isaac.
We moved on from toys to Oscar Isaac.
Oh my god. No. I'm gonna call back to our friends at Sam Crow. We talked about Sam Crow. We talked about your favorite show, The Mayans.
Yep.
I'm gonna talk about a character actor that I know can pull this off.
Okay.
I'm going with Ron Perlman. It's my Apocalypse.
He's got the voice.
He has the voice. And you literally, even if it's digital, your digital model can be built off this man's face. This man has one of the most iconic jawlines you've ever seen in your life.
He's got a very hardened face.
Yes.
He's got a very hardened face.
Yes. You know how you can see Josh Brolin in Thanos?
Yeah.
You'd be able to see Ron Perlman in Apocalypse.
Okay.
Because if you think about Apocalypse, if you're familiar with the character in the comics, he has these lines that make up his lips, and they come off the lips, and they define this jawline situation to these ear, kind of like my headphones, has these things on the side of his head. It's a whole thing.
Yeah.
I really feel like Ron Perlman would bring the gravitas of only the strong survive.
I could see him doing that.
To this movie.
I could definitely see him doing that.
He would kill this role. This would not be a physically demanding role at all. This man is 176 years old. The whole thing is, I need rights to his face and his voice.
Yeah.
We're going to scan him in. He'll spend 3 days in Skywalker Ranch recording his lines or whatever the hell it is, and he's gone.
Okay.
That's it. And that would be the kickoff series. I'm confident in saying this is the kickoff miniseries to a line of Age of Apocalypse.
Okay.
Shows.
Now, will you have any surprise cameos or any surprise guest starring? Because you just picked the poster, but will there be any surprises? Because there are characters that are in that series that have become fan favorites, for a better term, of who they are.
It sounds to me like you have somebody in mind that you'd want to have in the show.
No. I'm just asking because there are two characters.
You have favorites, right?
Well, no. There are two characters that I know have become fan favorites due to Age of Apocalypse, who have appeared outside of Age of Apocalypse into the main Marvel 616.
Are we talking about Nate Gray? Are we talking about Dark Beast?
I'm talking about Nate Gray, the X-Man.
Okay.
Wasn't thinking about Dark Beast, but I can see Dark Beast.
Were you thinking about the Sugar Man?
No, Holocaust.
Ooh, Holocaust. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what then. I want you. Hold on. No. I want to hear your input on this. Like, I'm putting your feet to the fire. Who do you think would be these three characters? Like, if you could cast those three for me. If you were my third director and you're shooting at the Honduras location for these little after credit scenes with these guys and I'm teasing the next miniseries, who are you picking for these characters?
For these three characters.
For Nate Gray, Dark Beast, and Holocaust.
So for Dark Beast, I'm gonna have to go somebody who not only sounds smart but can pull off that kind of more eloquent voice, because essentially Beast is you got a guy who either wears a lot of makeup and sounds eloquent, or B, you've got total CGI with just a voiceover.
Dude, this bar is set so high. I know X-Men 3 is panned as a horrible movie.
Oh yeah, it definitely
but
is.
Kelsey Grammer, in my mind, killed the role of Beast.
Oh yeah, Kelsey. Yeah, I was about to say Kelsey Grammer.
That's who you bring back for Beast?
Yeah, that's who I'm going to bring back for Beast. It's Kelsey Grammer.
That's fair. Amen to that. That guy, again, that was one of the saving graces of the third movie, was the fact they brought him in as Beast. I loved that. I was blown away at his, like, the makeup did not, like, even the makeup didn't take me away. Like, him playing the character, knowing who that guy is and how he carries himself, was completely engaging for me as Beast. So I would imagine if you take him and make him an evil Beast, come on, easy money. I as quasi Kevin Feige am pleased with hiring you for this role with my company. I'd love to hear more. What else you got, kid?
So for X-Man, for Nate Gray, I'm gonna go with Scott Eastwood for X-Man.
Ooh, holy cannoli! I didn't even think about him. I haven't thought about him. Like, the last thing I saw him in was Suicide Squad.
Yep.
He was just like a supporting role.
Mm-hmm.
Like, wow, that's wicked, dude. I bet he would do a great job at that.
I think he'd do a really good job as X-Man.
Oh,
so yeah,
okay.
definitely Nate Gray. Scott Eastwood for him.
Yes.
And then for Holocaust.
Ooh, which is another CG monster.
And see, the thing is with Holocaust is that Holocaust has that in the comics, he's got that battle throwdown with Sabretooth, where they have that huge fight. Which it starts off good, but then it just becomes, Sabretooth getting his butt kicked.
Yeah,
quite a bit. So I gotta have
a PG-13 rating. You can say ass.
Yeah.
Oh, did I say it one too many times?
Yeah. I don't know. Dwayne might get mad as he's editing this, or he get annoyed. But for Holocaust, you got to have somebody big. Okay. You got to his voice has to sound terrifying, but it also has to, show loyalty to a degree.
Okay.
So I'm going to dip into your wrestling world, and I'm going to pull out a person who is known for being terrifying because of his gigantic size. I'm going to go Braun Strowman with that cast because he's tall, he's big, and he has that he can have a thunderous voice. And so if he's yelling at Sabretooth, he's got to have that. Now, as a bonus character, Sugarman.
Ooh.
I'm going to go back with somebody who's used to being in a fat suit. Somebody who did a fat suit for a while.
Okay.
John Leguizamo.
Oh.
As Sugarman.
Dude, you know what, though? Yeah, I love that. And you're right. He does have some pretty, depending on who you ask, movie-carrying fat suit chops. But I would being that Sugarman is like literally all face, and not in a wrestling term, but as literally just a giant head, MODOK style, to call back to the earlier conversation.
You got Patton Oswalt?
Yeah, you can almost Patton Oswalt it. I mean, like, I'm quasi Kevin Feige. I need money. No, I really feel like you would literally just scan his face in.
Yeah. And
just distort his facial features and like have him do like video capture for this.
Okay.
And have a little arm sticking off the side. Yeah.
They have like the tongue and everything, the CGI like Venom tongue and all that.
That'd be so good.
Okay. So to be fair, since I added 3 characters to your movie, if you want to add somebody to mine with your own fantasy casting, who would you add?
Okay. I think I may mention this last time when we assigned this homework to each other.
Mm-hmm.
Cosmo. If I remember correctly, yeah, he was a part of Annihilation, wasn't he? Even a little bit.
He was mostly based on Nowhere. He was kind of like their guy in the chair.
Right, but he was in, right?
He helped out by telling where to go. So he was like the micro to their Punisher, or their not Genki, but Ned to his Spider-Man. So he was like the guy in the chair telling him where to go.
Okay.
Don, do you want to use the same dog that was in Guardians?
Yeah, why not? Tie it all together. We've already spent the money on the CG dog. It's on a flash drive. Let's just blow the dust off the flash drive and plug it back in and throw some animation on it.
Okay.
He communicates through his mind.
Yes.
That's his whole thing. He's a Russian cosmonaut puppy dog.
Yes.
So we need a Russian voice.
Yes.
Which makes it difficult because my default would be Miro, but he's already I'm double dipping. No. Miro doesn't have that distinct so this has got to be a smart Russian dog. This is not a dumb muscle-bound Russian dog. Man. Oh, I don't know the actor's name, but he played Lucifer in Constantine.
I haven't seen Constantine, so I wouldn't know.
Oh God. Can you Google it real quick? Lucifer, Constantine, Keanu
Lucifer and
Reeves.
Constantine?
Yeah. I can't. Once you see his face, you're like, oh God, he's in all these things. I hope everybody's enjoying this dead air. Sorry.
This dead air.
I can't believe my dog is barking when I'm trying to record a podcast.
Come on, Lucifer Constantine Wiki.
Carmela goes, oh, dogs, huh?
Oh, that guy.
Yes. I don't know why I'm blanking on his name.
Peter Stormare.
Yes, I think he would do well.
He was also in John Wick.
That's right.
He was a Russian character in John Wick.
Yeah. So I mean, if you remember, if you can, drum up his voice in your my head movies.
Okay.
So I think that would be awesome. I know it's been so long since I've read the Annihilation Wave. Wasn't the Fantastic Four tied into that too?
No, they were not.
No.
Nope.
Who am I missing here?
I left out the Guardians because the Guardians came together for Annihilation, and you had Captain Universe, you had Vance Astro, you had Bug.
Oh, did you have old Guardians like Martin X and Charlie 37 and stuff? This was the Abnett and Lanning. Carmella.
No, you didn't have any of the. He didn't have any. I didn't add any of those Guardians, mainly because I kind of wanted to keep a good random group going.
Okay.
But yeah, Vance Astro, he was in there. Captain Universe, which I just said. Bug, Diamond. No, Diamond Head was in Guardians too.
Yeah.
Yeah, most of those classic guys were in Guardians too.
That's right.
And Starhawk. Stark was there too.
Okay. You know what? I like Bug. I think we'll go with Bug.
Mm-hmm.
Bug would be a good one.
And see, if I was going to do Bug, I would have Alan Tudyk do him, but he's already doing Surfer.
Right. Crap. Think.
And remember, the guy is also going to be able to do the stutter or like the tick, the tick 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 sound.
Oh, that's right. God. It's almost like I almost want to hear him with his voice, like have almost like a little bit, like kind of silly.
That can work. And I know.
You know what? Hold on, I'm pulling a Sean Gunn. I will be Bug.
You're gonna be Bug. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
I'll do it. We spent all this money on casting, and we have no more money to get people. I will be the motion capture guy, and I will voice the Bug.
Sorry, you're not gonna. Okay, are you anybody else, or is that it?
Vance Astro would be cool.
Mm-hmm.
Vance Astro would would be digital too, wouldn't he?
No, he could be a guy. He could be a guy in a suit. Because eventually Vance Astro is just space Captain America.
Right. I was gonna say, let's go with the kid that played the werewolf in Taylor Lautner.
Okay.
Because you gotta have a handsome built person to play that character.
You do. You definitely do.
So, and what's Taylor Lautner doing? Nothing. And as far as I know,
I don't think he's doing anything right now either.
Come get this Disney money.
He needs it.
Yep, exactly. I think these are pretty good castings, man. For those of you listening and you want to chime in, like, if you're pissed at these castings or you want to add to these castings or tell us that we're completely insane, feel free to chime in on the comments on whatever platform you're on. Of course, follow us on Facebook if you're not already doing that, and we will post this my yellow pad.
Or if you think you could do better, then
please by all means,
please chime in with your 2 cents.
And I think I don't know if we mentioned it in the last episode. I think we did. This is a callback to the Wizard magazine fantasy casting. Remember?
Yes. Yeah, I remember that.
We don't get these anymore, and there's so many personalities in pop culture that we could pull from for stuff like this.
Yeah.
So as I was writing this list down, I thought to myself, this is a ridiculous list. But the more I think about it, it's not that it's not doable. It's just ridiculous.
It is.
Remember, the lead singer of Mouse Rat became Star-Lord.
Emmett the Lego figure became Star-Lord.
That's right. Everything was awesome for Chris Pratt. So none of this is impossible. I don't see. I mean,
Fred Savage.
Oh, I was just about to say that. Look, Fred Savage. They would call him a year in advance. Say, "Hey, man, you're going to play Gambit." I bet you Fred Savage would work out and change his diet, grow his hair out as much as possible, go to New Orleans for 6 months, try to pick up a Cajun accent.
I'm a little surprised they went with Fred Savage for Gambit instead of Channing Tatum, the guy who was about to play Gambit.
That ship sailed, man. I heard about that for 8 years and I lost interest. Who gives he wasn't going to, it wasn't going to, obviously the rest of Hollywood disagreed or else it would have happened.
Okay.
Worm Wiggler was supposed to play Gambit and didn't play him. So,
okay.
Okay. What about you? Like, if you could cast Gambit in my movie, who would you put?
I finally give it to Channing Tatum.
You would finally give him
I'll finally give it to Channing Tatum. They'd be like, hey, finally, here you go.
Calling up, hey, Magic Mike, come on, man, we're going to have you come play a coon ass for us.
I mean, if you think about it, Channing Tatum would probably bring the crawfish and and the corn and everything.
As the Kevin Feige of this movie, who has Cajun blood, I would wholeheartedly accept his Creole dowry to be in my movie.
And even more so, you think Channing Tatum would bring up like gourmet edition boudin balls to set because he loves that Cajun life.
I will be the judge of how good these boudin balls are.
And he speaks French too.
Voulez-vous coucher avec moi? C'est quoi?
He's better than Lady Gaga.
Oh my god, I enjoyed that, man. I think it was great.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. That was definitely a lot of fun. So yeah, the homework. Yeah, that was definitely a lot of homework. And I think out of my casting, the hardest one was casting Richard Ryder. And I went back between Andrew Garfield, and for a second there, I wanted to get Tobey Maguire. I wanted to get one of the Spider-Man in there. And I was like, but Andrew feels more Ryder than Tobey Maguire does, which I think was a good casting. I think it was good casting.
Absolutely.
So, with that being said,
I don't have anything bad to say about yours. I think it was awesome. I know you're not a big fan of Fred Savage. Aaron hates Fred Savage.
I don't hate Fred Savage. I don't.
You don't want the guy to get employed, man. You don't want the guy to make
I do
money.
want the guy to get employed. He can make a few more Deadpool sequels. Let him do that.
These are tough times in this economy, Aaron. Let the man fling some cards.
I'm glad Fred Savage is having a tough time. But you know what? I prefer Fred Savage over his doofy little brother any day of the week. Yeah, Boy Meets World, Boy Meets Paycheck, because he needs to find one now.
Fred Savage needs a paycheck.
So does his brother.
He was in The Wiz, man. Come on, give the guy a break.
You mean the Wizard?
Was it? Oh, The Wizard. I'm sorry.
The Wizard.
My bad. It's late. I apologize.
Yeah. So I think we've talked long enough. We're getting over the 2-hour mark.
Yes.
So we're going to kind of close off the episode here and start giving some shout outs, start, getting things ready. I do have to give a shout out to Clay Wayne Hirsch, our bro out there.
Oh, man.
I met up with him. He was ecstatic to get the Edge figure.
Sweet.
I handed it off to him. He hooked me up with the Hangman.
Oh, sick. How the hell did you find that?
He was able to find it out in his neck of the woods. So he hooked me up with the Hangman.
Awesome.
We talked, I met up with him Thursday, and we talked for a little bit about, wrestling and toys and also a few things. So he was a pretty cool guy. He has a really cool pair of sunglasses. I'm not going to lie. That kind of made me jealous. He has some really cool sunglasses.
Our brother from another mother, man. Thanks for
pretty much.
Thanks for championing our cause, man.
Yes. So a big shout out to him. I believe he's got a wrestling show coming up soon. I would have to double check. With he's part of the Lions Pride Wrestling. That's out of Bryan, Texas, or parts of Houston. It's run by Houston Carson, former NWA champion, or Houston NWA champion, Houston Carson. Houston. That's a lot of Houstons in one sentence. But he's from Houston Carson School of Lions Pride. And yeah, just a really cool guy. We talked for a bit. I apologized to his wife for her waiting in the car while we met up. And with the two kids in the back seat while we talked. Oh my gosh. While we talked wrestling and toys. So I'm not going to talk about the subject this time.
We don't talk about those things. Those were dumb things. Talk about your movie castings.
Your movie castings. But yeah, really cool guy. So quick shout out to him.
Word.
And also, thanks for sticking around all this podcast.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah, we're going on late. And then next blah 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 blah. Last thing I want to give a shout out to is our Cross the Streams Media family, which you can listen to them at crossthestreamsmedia.com. They have the Movie Gap, 3 Beers and a Mic, 3 Beers and an MCU, name patent pending, the Charles Bronson and I can't think of the actor's name.
Or something?
Huh?
Was it Chuck Norris?
No, it's the Burt Reynolds and Charles Bronson podcast. I remembered it this time. It is not the Dan Aykroyd and Charles Bronson. It's the Charles Bronson. And, oh, God dang it, I've missed it. I can't.
It's Fred Savage.
No, that's not Fred Savage. It's Smokey and the Bandit.
Burt Reynolds.
Burt Reynolds. Yeah, Burt Reynolds and Charles Bronson podcast. Burn Appetit. The Arts of Bore, which is the newest one that they just added. And if I'm forgetting any, Four Dorksmen. So go there.
Yeah, if you guys are putting up with us and listening to us for 2 hours plus, surely you'll be interested in shows that are way more seasoned and better than we are.
Shows that are better formatted, or not more better. That sounds primarily terrible. That are better formatted
Grammarly
for
better.
podcasting listening.
Far bad.
Stupid Sky Bench. Make me ain't no more smarter. So be sure to check them out and the shows that are on there, because they are pretty good for the most part.
Yeah, go show some love, man. Obviously, if you guys are listening to us, you really, really, really like podcasts, so surely you can give somebody else some love and give them some time.
And you must love pain if you're still listening this long afterwards. So, Thanks for listening.
Thank you much. Appreciate it, guys.
So, until next time, this is your host, Aaron.
This is your buddy, Chris. And remember, quasi Kevin Feige, I need money.
And remember to always unfollow, never unfriend. Until next time, bye.
Keep it Fred Savage.
Thanks for listening to Front Row Negative, a Cross the Streams media podcast.